been quite some time. I planned on making videos through the semester, but I had really hard classes that took so much of my brain space that by the time I was done with my day, I was just clocked out. But I'm on winter break now, and the semester went great. Very glad it's over, but we're back, baby. For the time being, at least, until I fall off the face of the earth again. But today's video is going to be a book haul and my winter TBR into one, because I didn't see the point in separating it into two videos when I don't have a crazy amount of books that I've acquired, and I don't have a crazy amount of books on my winter TBR because classes start so soon. So it seemed like the perfect sandwich moment. We're going to start with books that I've acquired recently, okay? And one thing about me, I love a good deal. I am always on the hunt at thrift stores, libraries, free little libraries for books. And there's certain authors I will find their books and take them even though I don't anticipate reading them right away, you know what I mean? Because I know they're some of my favorite authors and I will read them. One of them being Miss Kristen Hanna. I acquired Between Sisters by her. And then I also got On Mystic Lake, and my mom said this is one of her favorites by Kristen Hanna, so I'm really excited about this one. And they're both in phenomenal quality. The only thing is my cat took a chunk out of this book. I had it sitting on my bed, and then I came back in and she was going to town on it. So thankfully it's mine, and that's okay. I'm curious if this one's gonna be a heart-wrenching novel, since it is about sisters, and I do have two of them. So I want to go into this one blind, so I'm not going to read the synopsis on that one. This one seems really interesting. It kind of reminds me of Magic Hour a little bit, with like the little bit of mystery, if I'm not mistaken. It says, Annie Coldwater's husband has just confessed that he's in love with a younger woman, and on the same day their only daughter goes off to college. Devastated and alone, Annie returns to her small Pacific Northwest hometown, where she is reunited with her first love, Nick Delacroix, a recent widower who is unable to cope with his silent, emotionally scarred young daughter. As the three of them begin to heal, and Annie believes she's given a second chance at happiness, her world is turned upside down again, and she is forced to make a choice that no woman in love should ever have to make. It's because there's a little girl in this book that's like kind of weird. Reminds me of Magic Hour a little bit. That one, phenomenal. One of my favorite reads so far this year. By the way, this book was $1, this book was $1, so I saved me a whopping almost $30, $40, because this one's $19, this one's $17. That's a banging deal. This one I also got for $1 at my library, and it's The God of the Woods by Liz Moore. And I know that people either love or hate this book, but I was so stunned to see this, and this is another one that ends up at the library, doesn't even look red, like the spine is perfect, for $1. So of course I'm going to take it home, and if I don't like it, I'll just put it in a little library and keep the thing going, you know? But this one, the little blurb says, when a teenager vanishes from her Adirondack summer camp, two worlds collide. So it's a little mystery going on here. The only gripe I have with this, and I've been waiting to see a paperback anyway, but the texture of this is a little bit gritty, and it's kind of a sensory nightmare, so I'm not too jazzed about that, but honestly, for $1, I can't complain, so I'm just gonna deal with it. Another book that I got at the thrift store, this one was $1.07, so we're breaking the bank a little bit on that 7 cents, but I think I can deal with that. Is The Goldfinch by Donna Tartt. This is a beefy boy, okay? But it's in decent condition. I wasn't upset. It looks a little bit beat up, but nothing that I can't handle. And I've never read anything by Donna Tartt, but every time I go to the bookstore or whatever, and I see this cover, I'm just intrigued by it. From what I read on the back, I think it's just a character study, like you're just following this boy in his life. And it kind of gave me a similar impression to The Picture of Dorian Gray, because there's this boy and he's kind of surrounded with antiques and paintings and stuff like that, and it just gave similar energy, you could say, to The Picture of Dorian Gray. I'm really excited about this one, and the synopsis is, Theo Decker, a 13-year-old New Yorker, miraculously survives an accident that kills his mother. Abandoned by his father, Theo is taken in by a wealthy Park Avenue family. He's bewildered by his strange home and tormented by his longing for his mother, clings to the one thing that reminds him of her, a small, mysteriously captivating painting that has come into his possession. As an adult, Theo moves easily between the antique store where he works, the drawing rooms of the rich, and the underworld of art. He is alienated, unmoored, and in love, and drawn inexorably by the power of that painting into a narrowing, dangerous circle. Oh. Besides it trying to take my eye out, it seems like such an interesting read, so I'm kind of excited. I don't know when I'm going to get to it because it's like 800 pages almost. Beefy boy, and the pages are full. So eventually this will make my TBR, but this winter I do not think so. I went Christmas shopping with my mom for some of my family members, and I bought myself a book at Barnes & Noble, and so I paid full price with her discount or whatever. Not a great deal, but it's finally in paperback, and every time I see people talking about this, especially some of my favorite booktube girlies, it's The Favorites by Lane Fargo. I hear such good things. Like, if you want messy characters, a messy story, and you're just kind of following characters through their lives, which are some of my favorite styles of books because you can really empathize with characters, those are my favorite. So I'm super excited about this. It's not too long. Closer to like 400 actually. That's surprising. And the font low-key is kind of tiny, but I'm really excited about this one. It's an epic love story set in the sparkling savage sphere of elite figure skating. And random fun fact about me, I've always been really intrigued by figure skating and hockey. I just find the fact that people can do such interesting things on ice, it's insane. So I love that. I'm really excited about this one. There was a figure skating show that was on Netflix at one, I think it was called Spinning Out or something, and it was giving like same vibes as that show. Probably I'm just assuming like a little bit less dark, but I love figure skating. I love the concept of it, so I'm really excited. And I heard it's like interview style, so it'll be like an interview between the characters, and then you'll get like the real actual plot points, and you'll see how like the media skews the stories and stuff. So I'm really curious how that's gonna pan out in this story as well. Favorites by Lane Fargo. It's actually my first book on my winter TBR after I finish my other book. So book that I'm currently working through and taking my time with intentionally is East of Eden by John Steinbeck. I got this back around my birthday in September, and I didn't want to rush through it. It's not, personally, I wouldn't say it's a classic, but it has the capability to be because it's not old enough. Like, I consider classics to be 1900s or before, and I think this was written in like the early to mid 1900s, so it's almost there in my opinion. But I'm having such a great time. This is my first Steinbeck novel, and you're basically just following these families through the generations, and it's a retelling of Cain and Abel, kind of. So if you're not familiar with the Bible story of Cain and Abel, I would definitely recommend looking into that before you start the books. It'll kind of make more sense. But I'm really loving his writing style. I feel the characters and the environment. It goes into a lot of detail about the nature and the scenery, but it's done in a way that really makes you feel like you're a part of the story, which I enjoy. And the characters are so human. Only 160 pages in, but John Steinbeck has this way of writing characters and like their humanness, and it's just so beautiful. So I've been taking my time through this, little chunks at a time. I don't understand why chapter has like little sub-chapter numbers. It'll be chapter 15 and it'll be 15-1 and then like 15-2. So if anyone knows about that, I'm curious. I don't know, but I'm slowly making my way through this, and I love that I'm taking my time because it's a wordy book, and I feel like it's a book that's meant to be kind of marinated over. And once I'm done with East of Eden, I plan on starting The Favorites. And then after that, I either want to start Winter Garden, because this was on my TBR last year and I didn't read it. I didn't have time, okay? I was busy. At least that's what I'm telling myself. It's a story about a Russian mother and her kind of disconnect between her daughters that were born in the US after her mother like had immigrated to the United States, and I believe the husband is also American. And because of like her upbringing and her kind of dissonance emotionally from her kids, they become estranged, and the story kind of follows along past and present timelines, I'm pretty sure. So this one, should we make a tally and see how quick it'll make me cry? Because Kristen Hannah, she makes me cry every time. Excited about this one. I really want to read it, but it's just one of those things, I've been putting it off, that it's a little intimidating. I've never read any books specifically about Russia, so maybe that's why I'm finding it a little scary. But I think I'm just gonna have to dive in at some point and just send it. So it's on my winter TBR in case I'm feeling brave or feeling the snow. And it's a toss-up between if I start Winter Garden or Bear Town by Frederick Bachman. This is my, how many? Like third or fourth book that I plan on reading of Frederick Bachman. I've been slowly working through his backlist. I know this one is a series and I've been holding off on it because I don't have the other books in the series. But I've heard it's fantastic. It's about like a hockey town in Sweden and the dynamics of the town and the citizens and how they're so dependent on the sport, from what I've heard through the reading mill, you could say. So as a tiny community deep in the forest, Beartown hasn't been the best at anything in a long time, but down by the lake stands an old ice rink, and in that ice rink, Kevin, Amat, Benji, and the rest of the town's junior ice hockey team are about to compete in the national semifinals, and they actually have a shot at winning. All the hopes and dreams of this place are now rest on the shoulders of a handful of teenage boys. So you can only imagine what's gonna go on in here. And plus, this just screams winter. Like, come on. Looks fantastic. So it's been a while. It's probably been like 3 months or so, 2 months since I've read a Frederick Bachman, and I get like that itch, you know? So he's going up on there. And then the last book that I have on my winter TBR is Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. I got this from my mom a while ago, and it was probably around midterms I was trying to read it, and I just did not have the brain space. Like I said, I spent the semester trying to learn programming, like Python specifically, and learning programs in Kali Linux, and if you don't know, it's really hard if you're not really like a computer person. So I didn't have the brain space. Sue me. But I'm coming back, Miss Lee. So it's basically a girl gets a scholarship to Yale, but there's also these weird like secret societies, and from what I read, because I read like maybe 20 or 30 pages, 25 pages, I believe they're trying to like bring people back from the dead, like necromancy, but she's kind of like a barrier to prevent spirits or something from coming in to restart it, because it was a little confusing, and I don't blame it on the writing because I didn't read enough to judge it by then, but I do think I was just so tired that I just needed a book that was low stakes at night. Started rereading Harry Potter instead. But I'm really excited about this because this is one of my favorite booktubers' book. It's like one of her all-time favorites, so gotta hop in there. I gotta see what it's about. So I'm super excited. I'm hoping that it jazzes my feet, or whatever you want to say, like it does for Miss Heather. So yeah, that's pretty much all the books that I've acquired recently and my winter TBR that I plan on reading. I do have books on my Kindle, but I have like daytime books and I have nighttime books on my Kindle, so for when I don't want to have the lights on, a book that'll help me go to sleep, not keep me up all night. So I have other books on there that I plan on reading too, but these are the physical books that I want to read. So pretty jazzed about that. Also, in case you guys were curious, I switched my major at the beginning of this semester to cybersecurity, which is why I'm taking more computer-based classes. And it's weird because it's the first time I've felt truly challenged in classes. And I don't want to sound pretentious when I say that, but I mean in a sense like normal classes, it's like you read material and you take a test, and then you write like an essay or do a project, and then you get your grade. These classes are so much more interactive. Like I was actively programming and like learning how to use different programs in Kali Linux and learning how to do the programming, and I found that so rewarding. And I'm so glad I found that niche in a program, because I just felt like I was going along with college because I felt like I had to, because I was serving for so long, and I finally feel like I found my place, and it's challenging in a good way, and I'm just so happy that I found it. And next semester I'm taking Intro to Criminal Justice, a script programming class which involves Python, Bash, and JavaScript, which are really important in the programming world if you want to do hacking and among other things. You can do a lot with Python and JavaScript, but for me, predominantly, like, I'm going to be using it for security standpoint, so hacking, ethical hacking. And then I'm also taking, what else? I'm taking like a computer science 2 class, but it's not really called that. So I'm excited about that one. And then I'm also taking completely different. I'm taking sociology, but it's because I needed another elective for my humanities, and I did not want to take psychology, because if I have to hear one more thing about Sigmund Freud, like, I will riot, okay? I protest from the school tops, like school rooftops. I don't care about Freud, no offense to Freud lovers, but I think he's a scam artist, and I stand on that conspiracy. So this semester should be really exciting. I know I want to keep making videos, but the odds of me making videos during classes, like, for like 1 every 2 weeks, so please hold me to it. If not, I'm so sorry that I keep popping in and out. I make these videos for fun. Not that I don't expect anyone to actually watch them, but I don't have anyone to talk to about the books. I can only talk to my mom about them so much. You know what I mean? So pardon. That was like oh, also, I met my reading goal for 2025. I read 51 out of 50 books so far, so love that for me. I'm probably gonna make my reading goal 50 again, because I don't see myself having excessive amounts of time to read a lot. And yeah, so we're trying our best here. And if I do manage to get through all of these books, highly doubt it, but I plan on rereading Throne of Glass at some point next year, or like in the winter time. And if not, Throne of Glass can really be an any time of year book, but there's just something about a good fantasy book, and it's been about 2 years since I've read the series, and I'm ready to cry over it again, so I plan on doing that. I only have the physical books, so it would be a physical book type thing, but that's on my radar too. I went through and read Harry Potter all over again, so I want to have books on my backlist of like rereads that I want to do that I can passively read, but East of Eden's taking me a little bit of time. And yeah, I mean, it's good to have books that make you think, and he definitely, this inspires thought. Like, when I'm not reading, I'm thinking about the characters and I'm thinking about their lives, and it's just so beautiful. So highly recommend. I'm only 160 pages in. I highly recommend, but I'm going to go now. I've been yapping for a while. I hope you guys have a wonderful Christmas. I might even do a Christmas vlog, because my sisters aren't coming up this year, so it's just gonna be me, my parents, and my grandpa, so it'll be pretty low-key. I plan on making more Christmas cookies, so I could do that too. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'm so happy to be back, baby. And I hope this holiday Christmas season treats you guys well, and I hope you enjoy it, because you should be enjoying it. So I will see you next time.